Tim Southey, at one point, I thought he actually started a ball to Jadeja around the 7th or 8th stump, hoping to swing it back in. That's how much he was getting movement. The Indians were largely straight, Dooley. What was the difference?
Yeah,
the numbers are showing Shami and Bumrah swung it very, very little. Ishant swung it just about as much as Bolt, who actually swung it the least. So why were they not swinging it?
Yeah, different. I mean, they're not swing bowlers, not genuine swing bowlers. I mean, I know Jasprit Bumrah can swing the ball. We know that. Ishant is more of a swing bowler nowadays. Coming around the wicket, he's got that angled wrist that takes takes down the side of the ball, and he does swing the ball away from the left-handers into the right-handers a little bit. Mohammad Shami has never really been a genuine swing bowler. He's a seam bowler, and the seam is always bolt upright. Now, to swing the ball in general terms, if you hold the ball straight up and down the seam, that's the seam of the ball, and that's your fingers across it, and just bowl it straight, that will generally be a seam bowler. To swing the ball, I always find you have to kind of have the seam just slightly angled and get that ability to bowl the ball away, much like a Kyle Jamieson or a Tim Southey does. And to me, that's not Bumrah. That is not Mohammad Shami. It is more Ishant Sharma. And that's why they weren't swinging it a lot. I did, however, expect that the ball might seam a little bit more. And Shami and Bumrah at times found it, but they probably weren't just consistent enough, much like New Zealand weren't yesterday morning.
Tell me, in India, a little undercooked because they hadn't played Test cricket for a while, looked a little rusty. I thought Bumrah looked a little rusty as well. Didn't swing the ball as we talked about. Did New Zealand benefit from having each of them played at least one Test match? Or was it just that they had an off day and New Zealand outbowled India with the quicker bowling?
It could have been a combination of both, Harsha. I know New Zealand, I sort of used this example before as well. When New Zealand went into that first Test match at Lords against England, they had the very same preparation that India have had coming into this Test match. They were in Southampton for around about 10 days, 11 days, intra-squad matches, trainings, practices, and they turned up to Lords and they looked pretty set and ready to go. Tim Southey bowled beautifully. There was guys that were in Nick. Devon Conway obviously came straight off 10 days of net sessions here into a double 100 at Lords. So they looked like they were prepared and ready to go. And I thought that India would be exactly the same. I think at times you can look or maybe overthink it and say, did they have enough preparation? I think they probably did. I'm sure in the last 10 or 12 days, they would have bowled enough deliveries to make sure they were ready and rearing to go. It's hard, though, when you can't simulate match practice. You try in these intra-squad games, you try, but it just doesn't quite work. And that's the key. It is genuinely hard match practice that makes you better and gets you ready for those matches.